Today I texted my crush that I love her and want a relationship, and I felt like throwing up until she replied with, "I'm in Lisbon." And then she sent the, Portuguese flag, I think. I don't know, I'm not good at geometry. But anyways, I wanted to surprise her, so I booked the next ticket to Lisbon, Portugal. So I packed up my stuff and went to the airport, and it was a 30-hour journey, but it was in the name of love. And when I landed, I realized I should probably get her something as a gift, so I walked into a store and came across these very interesting frozen feet in the freezer section, and I thought, who would want to suck on feet? Oh, me. So I bought them, and opened up the box and ate every last foot. And they tasted like strawberries. I don't know why I was expecting foot flavor. Not that that's what I wanted, but anyways, I got the bright idea to take all the popsicle sticks and make a little fun DIY bracelet out of them with hearts on it. So I did just that, and then the next day, I was gonna give my crush the bracelet. So I went to DM her and asked her to meet up and realized she said I'm a lesbian. I'm a lesbian. I was drinking a vanilla bean frappuccino for the 4th time today because I found out you can get anything free from Starbucks if you make 365 different fake IDs with different birthdays for every day of the year. So each day I go to a different Starbucks and show them my ID and tell them it's my birthday. And they give me a free treat that would usually cost 4 kidneys. But sometimes when I pull up, they tell me they don't do free birthday drinks, but they don't know I know this trick. I actually go dumpster diving after hours where they throw away all the garbage and Starbucks employees that want to form a union. And there's usually 1 or 2 uniforms in there. So I got this one, which had just a little blood stain. So whenever they deny me a birthday drink, I simply rip my jacket off and show them my employee uniform. And then they just let me go make whatever I want for myself for free. And it almost always works, but when it doesn't, and they say we've literally never seen you at this location before, why do you have blood on your uniforms? I stay calm because I remember they don't know I know this trick. I put on a little mask and say, okay, this is a fucking robbery! Last weekend, me and some pals and Mr. Beast gathered around to sacrifice a giant minion for fun. But after we killed it to death, I was like, now what? And Mr. Beast said,
Dave is finally dead. So is this stupid trend.
But I thought to myself, that's kind of awkward, because to me it wasn't a trend, and I got a giant minion tramp stamp tattoo a few days before. And I was so embarrassed that I got in my car and drove around looking for a laser tattoo removal place, but the only one that I could find in my town went out of business when they accidentally cut someone's leg off. And it also looks like the back room. So I ordered a tattoo laser gun off of Shein. And when it arrived a week later, I got ready to use it after accidentally burning a hole in my eyeball, but I reached behind me and started burning it off, and it smelled like burnt chicken for about an hour, but I thought it was essentially gone. Until I was at Walmart a week later when I saw this lady drop her toe fungus medication, and when I bent down to pick it up for her, the scar popped out and she screamed and thought I had monkeypox, and I was like, shut the hell up, warty ass bitch. Let's see those toes you need to scream for. I was trying to sell my kidneys on the black market when I got an ad for Shein Eats, and apparently they sell food now. So I ordered some Mexican food because I was really hungry. But when it arrived, it came in what looked like a reused tissue box, and it had a fragile sticker, but it was looking more like a burrito bowl at this point. Anyways, I compared it to the picture in the ad, and it looked nothing like it. But the worst part is there was corn in it, and I'm allergic. And I was beyond mad, so I looked at the shipping label, and it said it was shipped all the way from China. So you know what I did? I was on that next flight to China, and after I boarded the plane next to the world's biggest Facebook mom with this suitcase, the food was actually pretty good, a little bit better than Shein's. But anyways, when I landed, I remembered it was the Olympics here in Beijing, so I decided to go to that instead of getting revenge on Shein. Happy Valentine's Day. Aww. I was cleaning my room today when I found out that I just hit 10 million followers. And to celebrate, I wanted to give each and every one of you $1. Now, I don't have $10 million, but you know who does? The bank. So I went over there and had the idea to R to the O to the B it, but quickly realized that I get too anxious simply going to Starbucks and ordering for myself without nearly peeing my pants. So walking into a bank to commit a crime is kind of out of the question. So my second idea was to make an Ed Sheeran disguise that is so convincing it looks like a deep fake. So I taped it to my face, and I used this simple hack that works on any ATM machines, where you can type in the number of the address where the ATM is, like 900 for example, and then it'll think it's undergoing maintenance and spit out all its cash. So I tried it, and boom, I suddenly had $20,000. And I stopped at each and every ATM punching the code, getting racks, when I remembered they have security cameras, and even though I was disguised as Ed Sheeran, I wanted to be safe, so I gently disconnected the camera from the ATM and put it on the ground. And for the rest of the night, I'd never felt more alive, single-handedly taking down the greedy banks to steal from customers every single day. I was calculated, unstoppable, careful. And I did it all right under the police's noses. It became addicting. Every single ATM was like a new hit. And the money, oh, it was endless. Ed Sheeran had to go on live TV to say he wasn't the thief. And I had gotten away with it. Oh, wait, just kidding. They actually got me. Well, at least I still have money for bail, and I still have 10 million of you guys. Wait. I wanted to go to Chili's today, but it was burning down. So instead, I went to go get sushi. But it was one of those places where it comes on a conveyor belt and you can take what you want, except for this piece of shrimp that refused to cooperate and wouldn't release. But it's okay, because they also have a screen you can order from. So I ordered myself some crispy rice, and it zoomed by faster than I could say, "No, officer, I had nothing to do with the Chili's burning down." Anyways, then I saw these nasty cubes that look like Minecraft gravel, and I lost my appetite. So I put all the plates down the chute since I was done with them, when I wondered what's actually in there. And it said, please don't insert hands or objects, but what did I do? Hit record on my phone and insert it into the slot, which was really smart because then I dropped it down into the chute and had to call over a waiter in shame, and he told me that non-plate items go out the garbage chute around back. So I went down this creepy corridor and finally found it, and when I grabbed my phone and sat down to check what footage I had recorded, I saw... Today, my Mima told me that she bought an NFT, and I was like, Mima, you just asked me if Mark Zuckerberg was my girlfriend. How do you know what an NFT is? So anyways, I was using one of those head massagers when I got a knock at the door, and when I answered, no one was there except for a box with a towel in it and some noodles, with a note that said, NFT, noodly fun towel. And it wasn't even fun, it was soaking wet in some mysterious liquid, and I was about to put it away in my closet when I got the idea that I could actually make it into an NFT and get some use out of it. So I made some room and I took a picture of it and made it look all pretty, and I minted it on Bubble House and made it free for a limited time. And I emailed her back and told her to go claim one before they're all gone. And even her bingo club can get one, and even you. And we can play bingo together on Bubble House with my Mima and her bingo group. Today I went to the movie theater an hour early because I'm half Caucasian and I wanted to see the new Spider-Man for the 30th time. But when I sat down, I noticed that they had QR codes for their overpriced food menus. So I got the intrusive thought to quickly run home and change all the QR codes to moaning sounds. So when I got home, I designed a bunch of fake stickers and printed them off with QR codes, so when you scan them, they play this. Anyways, I grabbed the stickers and drove back to the theater and stuck them over the top of the original ones. And as people trickled into the theater and the movie started, and they started scanning the codes for the menu, I suddenly began to hear... And then people would quickly hide their phones and try and turn it off. And it got to the point where they had to stop the movie. So anyways, I left and went for sushi. And when I got there and sat at the table, I noticed that this restaurant also has QR codes for their menu. And I had some stickers left over, so I carefully placed them on top of the old QR codes. And then I looked back at the dude behind me as he scanned his, and... Anyways, my sushi was very delicious, 9 out of 10. Today I DoorDashed some cooked goldfish from PetSmart because I was really hungry and they were only $3. So I placed the order and walked over to PetSmart to pick it up. But when I got there, I walked in and found the food pickup section and saw all the soon-to-be sushi swimming around in their little tanks that were right next to the not-so-swimming sushi. And that's when I realized maybe pet store food isn't the best move. But I was still super hungry, so I asked an employee if they have anything else to eat, but she told me if I want to act picky, they have rats for sale. So I opened up the rat fridge and... I couldn't do it. So I ended up buying some bugs for like $2, which was such a great and amazing deal. And when I got home, I was so hungry that I ripped open the bag of bugs and just told myself that this little grasshopper in my chopsticks is a Cheeto. So I popped it in my mouth and I felt movement. And I spat it out and it jumped out of the bowl! And I panicked and ran to the toilet. And for the next 3 hours, I vomited up my insides. I'm in North Korea right now, because last week I was just making some delicious corn dog sushi in Japan, and before I could take a bite, I heard the nuclear missile warnings go off because Kim Jong-un was having a hissy fit. And I spilled my corn dog sushi because of him, but as I was hiding underneath the table about to be vaporized, that's when I realized North Korea is only 2 hours away, so I bought a Kit Kat because Kim Jong-un needs to take a freaking break, and a ticket to North Korea, so I can tell him to stop doing that. Anyways, I went to the airport, and the plane was either on fire or someone just had a vape, but anyways, once I landed, I immediately got on this bus, and the soldiers boarded the bus and checked my documents, and then I was sent through this underground tunnel underneath the border, and then I emerged at Kim Jong-un's palace, and it was pretty cute for a warmongering dictator. I walked up to the gate and gave it a good old knock, but no one was home, I guess, so I was just walking around when I heard a security alarm go off. Then I scrambled to find a place to hide, so I ducked into this cubbyhole and hid there until they were gone. And then I snuck out into the bushes and spent hours trying to return to civilization, and I ate some blueberries that weren't blueberries. But hours later, I finally found my way out and decided to give up on world peace and just eat the Kit Kat because I was hungry. Sorry, Kimmy. Stop that. I was eating some raw chicken sushi when out of the corner of my eye, I saw a furry and then another furry. So I got up to see what was going on and followed them, and then there was 10 furries and 20 furries and hundreds of furries, and I realized there was a whole furry convention at the mall I was at. But then I remembered I just didn't pay at the restaurant, and I heard them say on the intercom, and I was like, Jesus Christ, I need to get out of here. But these furries were everywhere, and I tried to sneak into this dark warehouse, but there was a rave going on inside, so I found a door door to the outside, but it was raining and had no exit and no hope. Until I saw someone's left behind fursuit on the ground with some stains in it. But I had no other way to escape, so I put it on to try and blend in and re-enter the mall and saw so many horrifying things and still couldn't find the exit and was getting actual heat strokes, so I decided to just turn myself in. So I went up to a cop and said, I'd like to turn myself in, and it was a damn Zootopia cop! So I just bolted out of that lawless wasteland and jumped over furries to find a fire exit and made it out and stripped out and threw my suit in the river! I use my mom's Facebook Marketplace for buying clothes and organs sometimes, but today I saw that Taylor Swift's private jet was selling for $1,000 because she got in trouble for flying them every single day or something. But I thought, I'll take it, and I messaged them and hurried to the bank to take out $1,000 in cash. And I brought it to the address, which was her own airline hangar, and when I arrived, I saw the plane, and I took a bunch of pictures in front of it and then went through her makeshift security. But when I got there, there was a little party going on, and I was like, oh, fun, and I participated in the party, but then it got a little rowdy, and I asked, can I own this plane still? And it turns out some rappers bought it before I could and started filming a music video in it. But I was still bitter from being outbid, so I pulled the emergency latch and breached the airlock, and now I have the whole plane to myself.
Hey guys, just got first class and they gave us free orange juice, free little masks that come down and put you to sleep.
Today I was in my car when I saw that the Amish were doing a pop-up shop, so obviously I had to go check it out because I don't believe that they're real. And when I pulled up to Simply Amish, I put my mask on because I don't want to give the entire colony the plague or something. And when I walked in, the employee was on a computer, and I was like, that's strange, not even supposed to have electricity. But I was walking around, and at first it seemed like a really expensive furniture store, and I was like, damn, these Amish are gonna be ballin'. But then I came across this door that was half open, which led to this scary basement that had all of these artifacts and paintings of Jesus, and then randomly a Rick and Morty Chia Pet, and some cards that I don't think are Amish appropriate, and then a Queen's Gambit board game, which... wouldn't that just be chess? Anyways, I felt the need to buy something so the Amish don't steal my organs. I got one of those popping toys where you put it on the ground and... Anyways, when I paid and got the bag, I noticed they slipped a key in it with a note saying, need escape? And then some coordinates, which I looked up online and found out they lead to their colony. So I think they tried recruiting me, and let me know if I should drive up there and join them. Today I went to go see Billie Eilish at Coachella, but before she came on, there was this dude wearing a big sparkly onesie who opened for her that kept staring at me, and I was thinking to myself, what's up, do you have a staring problem, buddy? But anyways, he did a little dancey dance thing, and Shrek was in the audience and seemed to love it. But his cameraman kept getting in the way and then turned to me, and the next thing I knew, rewind that. He put me on the big screen, and I freaked out and went behind the cameraman and started unplugging random cables from his camera, and it turned off the video on the screen. But anyways, then Billie Eilish came on and kept invading my personal space and staring at me, and I was like, do celebrities never get taught that staring is rude? Why are you yelling at me? But then she did her little dancey dance and left the stage, and I took a golf cart home from Coachella, and when I woke up the next morning, I checked my phone to see a DM from Billie herself asking if I was at her show with a winky face. And I replied, no, silly Billie, here's a restraining order, leave me alone. And I went back to bed. Every day I bike past this fenced-off neighborhood near me that's radioactive from a nuclear meltdown. But today I decided to explore it, so I went through a gap in the fence, and after walking for about 10 minutes, I got to this mysterious door in the middle of nowhere, so I did a little knock and let myself in and closed it behind me to be polite to the radiation. Anyways, I went down the stairs and saw, some interesting artifacts that I was not exactly a fan of. And I continued through the bunker and found a very inviting door that made me feel super safe, which led to more stairs that had my knees cracking like Rice Krispies. Anyways, I eventually got to this tunnel and some doors at the end of it that said, danger, do not enter. But I went in because my middle name is Danger. Just kidding, it's Emil. And after I went through the door, it closed behind me and I tried everything but couldn't open it up because it was locked. So I decided to look around and see what my grave location was gonna look like, thinking maybe it's a movie theater or a game room. And I turned the lights on to see that there was an actual nuclear missile silo where they held the nukes. And it went 100 feet down, and now this is where I live, I guess. And my phone is now on 1% uploading this TikTok. So if you see this, that's the last time you're gonna... I don't know if you've seen those comments on TikTok of beautiful women asking if there are any boys here, but today I remembered I am a boy, so I decided to investigate and saw that she was asking me to go to her bio. So I clicked the link in her bio and it instantly froze my iPad and I couldn't close the app or anything until a thing popped up asking for my phone number and credit card number to fix it. And so obviously I was like, thank God, a solution. So I grabbed my credit card from my wallet and typed it in, but then after I did that, my iPad fully shut off and started smoking. But I was like, okay, thank God they reminded me what my credit card number is. So I went to the Apple store to go replace all my Apple products that are now fried, but I got distracted and tried to make the wallpapers minions kissing, and I played some random rats dancing on all the iPhones. But then an employee yelled at me, so I fled with no iPhone, and now I'm trying to catch a bird so I can use it as a carrier pigeon to talk to people since I have no electronic devices left. I was scrolling through the deep web when I saw an ad for a GoFundMe to get the Queen an air fryer before she dies. So I went to it and saw no one had donated. So I gave her $5 and went to bed. But when I woke up the next morning, I got an email that it was shut down by GoFundMe. And I knew the Queen still needs an air fryer, so I packed my bags and went to the airport to book the next flight to London to bring her an air fryer that I bought for her. And after 10 hours, I landed and Ben was in the Big Ben. So I took the train to the Buckingham Palace where she lives. But when I got there, they had it gated off and I couldn't go in to see the Queen. So I found another entrance with a flimsy little fence that I slid under, and then I popped over another fence, but that triggered an alarm. So I was running as fast as I could, and I happened to drop the air fryer, but I had to hide, so I managed to find the Queen's quarters and snuck in. And I thought I was safe until I woke up on some cliffs on an island with nothing but a note on my arm that said,
"Please, they won't let me air fry."
"Elizabeth, I will save you." Today I traveled to Trump Town to get a gift for my friend that I hate, because if you've ever had a friend that's obsessed with you and asks what you're getting them for Christmas, you can just show you don't care about them by doing a deep dive on their Instagram and maybe find out they've been wanting to learn how to play the trumpet. So to show you don't care, you could go to a Trump store instead of a trumpet store to buy some Trump merch so that they A, think that you don't actually care about their interests, I don't, so you can say, "Oh, I thought you liked Trump," and to double down that you don't give a damn about them, point B, they think you're a terrible person because they'll think you like Trump. So look through the Trump store as a minority and try not to get shot, and then get them like a Trump hat and a little Trump squishy head and pay for it with photocopied money so you're not actually giving them real money. And then after they finish telling you that the vaccine was made by the Illuminati, box it up in designer packaging so that they think it's going to be expensive. And then drop a half-eaten banana in it so it molds, and then walk over to the post box and set it on through, and that person will never talk to you again. Mary whatever. Today I woke up on Mr. Beast's 35-foot tall inflatable minion that I tried blowing up the night before with my lung, but my asthma kicked in and I passed out. But anyways, last week he was like,
Hey Ben, can you make me the world's largest minion?
but I hung up on him because he's not despicable enough. He's like the opposite. He's like philanthropicable. But he called back and I was like, he really is despicable. And I agreed to do it, and ever since then I have been making sure this minion is perfect. So I got the whole factory to line up and take turns blowing it up so I wouldn't be the only one passing out. And I tried to fashion together a giant suit to fit him, but I ran out of fabric and... But finally he was ready. The only problem was when I opened my trunk and tried to fit his body in it, which usually it can fit a few of those, he didn't fit. So I had to ship him in a truck, but I wanted to be along for the journey, so I snuck in while the back door was open and rode in that boy across America until we finally stopped, and I opened the door and... Hey.
Hey.
I got your minion.
Just put it over there.
Okay. I was so excited today to see Harry Styles in that new movie that he's in today. So I went to the theater and snuck in my own snacks because a hot dog is $12, but a pea and ketchup sandwich is $2. But as I was enjoying my delicious meal, they flashed an ad for like 3 seconds saying, bring blood to bathroom stall 4. And I looked around the theater and like, no one was fazed by this. So I sat through the movie, but Harry Styles wasn't the only thing making me feel curious. So I left as the credits rolled. And I went to the bathroom and I didn't think anyone was in there, but I found stall number 4 and I went in and locked the door behind me, and there's a guy asking for the blood, I guess, and I wasn't about to give him my blood, but I remembered that I had my ketchup still, so I poured some on a piece of toilet paper and I handed it to him, and it turns out the guy in the stall was actually just out of toilet paper and needed some, and I don't know what the cult stuff was about, but I'm now about to be murdered. Today I spent 9 hours painting Doja Cat, and it turned out so good that I decided to DM it to her. And she actually replied by saying, it's terrific. And I was just in disbelief that she replied, so I screenshotted it as fast as I could and posted it on my story to show all my friends. But after she saw it, she DM'd me a picture of the front of my house and my birth certificate. And when I said, yes it is Doja Cat, I saw she mentioned me in her story. And when I looked, she had posted both of those images on her story. And I was like, Doja, why would you do that? And then she went live and was very angry at me. And the next thing I knew, there were people banging on my front door, and then one of them threw something through my window, and I had no clue what it is, so I slowly approached it. But when I got too close, it started to fill my room with gas, and I heard on her live stream, and she said,
Careful of the tear gas, beep, you're getting gas, beep.
So I grabbed what I could and ran out of my house and saw a flyer on the telephone pole for witness protection. And I called them and had to throw away my passport and credit cards, and now I'm flying to New Zealand to start a new life. Thanks, Doja Cat. Today, I threw away all my electronics so I could join the Amish and live a simple life. But after about 10 minutes, I got really bored of harvesting wheat and apples and wanted to watch a good old YouTube video. But I didn't have any devices to watch YouTube on, so I obviously walked over to the YouTube headquarters. And when I got there, I managed to walk right in, and I found an empty room with a TV in it so I could watch a few videos from my personal collection. Anyways, after I had cured my boredom, I left the room and raided the YouTube fruit counter and grabbed an orange and an apple and a DVD copy of the videos I watched. But when I finally got home, I realized I can't play this because I don't have a record player. But I looked around my room and saw an old radio speaker thing and popped the CD in it just so I could listen to the audio and imagine the video in my mind. But when it started playing, it sounded like it was coming from outside my house, and that's when I realized I had it set to broadcast. And I ran outside to see every radio in the vicinity was playing. Today I was flying over North Korea and trying to sleep even though there was a baby screaming behind me because it shat itself. But what really kept me awake was a song started playing that plays in like all those plane crash TikToks. And then the plane started shaking and the seatbelt sign turned off. And the plane was shaking so much that it spilled water all over my no-no square. And I thought, if this plane is going down, I'm not about to be found dead looking like I peed myself. So I snuck into the bathroom even though it said seatbelts on. And I grabbed some paper towel and tried to dry it off. But it was shaking so much that I just went back to my seat. And that's when I realized the music was coming from the stupid baby behind me's iPad because it knocked its AirPods off from sharding so aggressively. So I tried to lean between the seats to turn it off, but I couldn't reach it, so I called over the flight attendant and asked if we could just throw the child out of the airlock, but she didn't speak English and just gave me almonds. So I peacefully lost my mind for 7 hours, and when I landed, I saw the most nasty little sharder and chased after it because it left its iPad behind, but when I touched it, there was literal baby food on it, and I dropped it and cracked the screen. And then I picked it up again to check if it was working, and saw the lock screen, and it jump scared me, and I dropped it again. Whoops!